Whispers of Route 197. Northern Arizona Desert, late afternoon into night, October 13th, 2019. 4. College seniors Maya Patel, Premmed, Cautious. Jordan Ellis, Film Major, Excitable. Chris Delgado, Mechanical Engineering, Practical Joker. Evelyn Brooks, Folklore Minor. Observant, drive from Flagstaff to Los Angeles. They become lost on an unlisted highway. The Atlas Mountains of clouds at morning promised clear skies, but by mid-afternoon, the desert pulled a dirty trick. Wind slapped the asphalt, raising corkscrews of dust that forced semi-trucks to crawl. With hazard lights flashing, inside their rented Jeep, Jordan grinned at the empty road ahead. Jordan, laughing. Open range, baby. This documentary's gonna have a legendary first shot. Maya, who always sat shotgun because her stomach preferred the horizon, glanced at her phone. No service. She nudged Jordan. MAYA quietly. GPS just rerouted us. Says State Route 197 saves 30 minutes. Chris leaned forward from the back, brushing corn chip crumbs off his hoodie. Chris, shortcut, yes, please. Traffic after midnight is still traffic. Evelyn sat behind Maya, scrolling through a PDF of Navajo oral histories. She wasn't listening until the road sign appeared, a rusted metal arrow, welded letters spelling Coyote Gap 31 me. Evelyn murmuring, I just read a thing the Navajo call Coyote Crossroads. Me Baitud Nadi, places where directions rearrange. No one replied. The Jeep's tires had already thudded onto cracked asphalt narrower than a bike lane. 30 minutes later, the fuel gauge whined. The landscape had flattened into bone-colored scrub. Then, like a mirage deciding to stay, a 1950s diner materialized, chrome siding dulled to pewter. Neon tubing, half-lit, the last stop calf, ghosting pink against the sky. Beside it, solitary and incongruous, stood a gravity-feed gas pump, its price plate, 31 cents gal. They rolled in on gravel. The sun hovered an inch above the mesas. CHRI's cheering. Told you. Universe provides. Maya shuffled through receipts. The rental agency for bad unknown fuel. She sighed. Mama, why? I will top up just enough to reach Holbrook. Jordan hopped out. The pump's hose smelled oddly fresh, like it had been purged minutes ago. He squeezed, the trigger fuel flowed. Inside, the diner smelled of hot dust and stale cinnamon. Red vinyl booths lined the windows. Each cushion wore a delicate film of sand. Yet on the counter rested a mug half full of coffee, steam tracing. Serpents in the amber light. Evelyn whispering, someone has to be here. No cook behind the pass-through, no waitress by the pie case. Only the subtle, steady tick of a wall clock. Hands stuck at 7:06. Jordan's watch read 5:42. Chris slid into a booth and drummed his fingers. The jukebox against the rear wall, an antique. Wurlitzer flicked on by itself. Colored bulbs chased one another in silence before dropping a 45 onto the turntable. Without the needle touching, Jimi Hendrix's version of All Along the Watchtower filled the room. Maya, power line outside is severed. No generator hum. Chris, nervous grin. Bluetooth? Evelyn opened a guest book chained to the host stand. The last entry, July 6, 1971. Passing through. Road keeps changing. EM underneath. A hurried penciled amendment. The road eats what fuels it. Lightning cracked somewhere distant. Fluorescence flickered. Maya's phone vibrated one new voicemail. She played it on speaker. Static, then a child's sing-song voice. "Daddy, you're late. The road won't wait forever." She tossed the phone onto the counter like it had burned her. Evelyn excused herself to the restroom. Seconds later, a pain-rattling thump shook the diner. Jordan sprinted after. The narrow hall ended at a door hanging off one hinge. Inside, fluorescent light buzzed. Above, a cracked mirror fogged from the inside. One handprint, child-sized, smeared the glass. Letters. Inside negative space. "Stay on the road." Evelyn was gone. A grid of dusty floor tiles showed just two sets of footprints. Jordan's fresh, Evelyn's ending abruptly. Before the sink, a cold, moist wind slithered through the dining room. Neon flared, blood red. The clock jolted forward to 7:06 and froze again. Outside, night had dropped like a guillotine no-dusk gradient. The Jeep interior. Lights blinked SOS in silence. From every direction came layered whispers, hundreds of voice, reciting, keep driving, loops phasing like overlapping vinyl. Maya spotted tire tracks leading west away from the diner, fresh, parallel, not their own. She snapped a photo. The preview showed only black static. Jordan popped the Jeep's hood. Battery smelled of ozone, too hot to touch. They were a marooned dot. They followed the tracks on foot, flashlights jittering. Sand underfoot felt pliant, as if breathing. 50 yards out, a stand-alone payphone gleamed under no light source. Receiver swaying though air was. Dead. A sign above blinked call home. Jordan, shaking, dialed his number. Ringback tone once, then his own pocket buzzed. He answered. The same child spoke. Voice, tinny. "Daddy, she doesn't like when you stop moving." Static exploded, then Evelyn's scream tore the frequency open. The payphone's coil cord ripped free, whipping around the booth until it hung limp. Lightning flashed, no thunder, sky still clear. Jordan dropped the metallic-smelling handset. The dessert. Choir crescendoed until words blurred, then hushed, as if awaiting payment. They sprinted back to the diner, its front door now ajar, lights bright white. The half-full coffee was gone. In its place, an old jerrycan labeled unleaded. Behind the counter, a trapdoor gaped blackness. Descending, Chris grabbed a chef's knife for courage. They climbed down a ladder into a service, tunnel humming, with dormant breakers. Motion sensors overhead pinged alive, lighting sections sequentially. Spray paint arrows on the concrete floor pointed deeper, labeled full tank. A half-mile in, though, it felt longer. The tunnel opened into an underground garage, row upon row of vintage vehicles, set like a forgotten car show, each immaculate, each topped by a single gallon of fuel in a glass beaker. In the center idled a red 1971 Pontiac Lehman's. Inside, Evelyn slumped against the passenger door, unconscious but breathing. Maya yanked the handle. Unlocked. On the dash lay a Polaroid. The four of them hours earlier at a Flagstaff gas station, except a fifth figure, faceless and taller, loomed behind. A presence rustled at the garage's far end. A silhouette of liquid shadow, human-shaped but taller, limbs tapering to smoke. Its voice arrived as vibration through bone, not air. ENTITY, subaudible. Fuel is time. Pay and leave. Stay and become mileage. Maya leapt to a rack of containers, toppled one. Gasoline perfume filled the air. Jordan siphoned the Lehman's tank into the jerry can until the fuel gauge read E. The silhouette recoiled, merging into a mural, depicting Route 197 winding under an eclipsed sun. Black paint bled outward, forming an exit arrow. They carried Evelyn and McCann up a new ramp. At its top, they emerged behind the diner, stars finally visible. The Jeep started at once, dashboard clock spinning backward from 7:06 to 6:59, then halting. CHRI, exhaling. 6:59. We bought 6 minutes of what existence? Maya, driving hard, doesn't matter. Hold on. The diner dissolved in the mirror as though heat waves ate it pixel by pixel. With each mile, cell. Reception bars lit. Radar maps showed no storm, no diner, no private road. Only national forest. Evelyn woke at dawn. The Pacific horizon hazy gold outside their hostel window in Venice Beach. She had no memory beyond walking to the diner restroom. Jordan replayed Maya's voicemail. It had vanished. The Polaroid remained. 4 friends, 1 shadow. In the weeks that followed, Jordan's phone received identical voicemails every Monday at exactly 7:06 p.m. static, then the child. Daddy, wrong turn again. Gas credit card statements showed a monthly charge for 1 phantom gallon at last stop service, AZ. Google yielded no such station, no Route 197. 6 months later, they mailed the Polaroid to a paranormal researcher in Flagstaff. The photo arrived, blank emulsion erased. The researcher's prepaid envelope, however, contained a new photo. The Lehman's idling underground, Evelyn alone in the passenger seat, her eyes now open, staring at the camera. Some nights when Maya drives late after clinic rotations, her fuel gauge dips and the GPS stutters. She swears the British voice sometimes tries to pronounce 197 before recalculating. She keeps driving. Narrator closing whisper, because the road feeds on what moves it, and it never forgets the taste of a driver who paid with borrowed minutes.